Hi, we've made it to the month of April, and this is another episode of hashtag What Cindy Cooks. I'm Barrie. Many people know me as Cindy Kurman. However, be that as it may, today we're going to do kind of a brunch dish at home that it really isn't too hard, and it's going to be kind of a creative thing because I'm not really following a recipe. I'm using my culinary intuition to do this. We're going to make a French toast with some great multi-grain bread, and we're going to top it with an amazing concoction of almonds, cashews, and honey, and some maple syrup, and some brown sugar, and the French toast will be made in an egg batter in which we've added some Madagascar vanilla. And if all comes together, it should be awesome.
Did you mention the bourbon?
Oh, the final.
The secret, the bourbon.
This is an American French toast because we're using an American bourbon. I usually use this tool to discipline the children. Oh wait, we don't have any children. What we're going to do is we're going to start with making the egg batter. I have 4 organic eggs from Costco. I'm going to just add a little bit of salt and pepper from Costco. Himalayan sea salt. You can use whatever salt you prefer. Just a touch of pepper as well. Now I'm just going to whisk those together, breaking the yolk and turning into a nice egg batter. I'm going to add a couple more ingredients to this, and then this will be all ready to go. This will be used to dip the bread in to make the French toast, obviously. I'm just going to add a couple ounces of milk, and to really make this nice and tasty, put in a little bit, roughly about a half a teaspoon of vanilla. That's probably more like a teaspoon. At any rate, it smells wonderful. And now I'm going to just mix this all together to make a batter. Okay, having prepared this batter, I'm just going to put it in a much flatter dish because it'll be much easier to dip the bread in it when we make the French toast. Okay, now we're going to make our maple syrup, brown sugar, apple, nuts,
concoction,
and bourbon concoction.
There you go.
First thing I've done is I've heated up the pan. I'm throwing a little water in just to make sure that it dances, because that means it's a nice temperature. We don't want this to be too hot because we're going to be sauteing our apples in butter, and butter can burn if the temperature is too hot. So I've actually got my burner pretty much on low right now. Also, just a quick plug, unabashed plug, we're using Curtis Stone cookware, which we love. We got that on TV, believe it or not, and it's actually really good as far as it's non-stick, and it cleans up really easily.
It doesn't need a lot of oil.
And it doesn't really need much oil, but we're going to partly do this for flavor. So I'm putting in a little canola oil, and then I'm going to add some butter to the mixture. Now the canola oil will allow me to cook at a little higher temperature without it all burning. I'm just spreading it around a bit. Now I need to add some butter to it. Now I'm going to add a nice pat of butter and get it around there, mix it up with the oil. Again, we're trying to make sure it doesn't burn. And now I'm going to add some chopped up apple. We're using for this Gala apple, but you can use whatever apple you want. I'm keeping the peeling on, as I like to. While the apple is cooking, and you notice we've covered the pan to let it cook through, I'm going to prepare the pan for the actual French toast. Little canola oil, again, just to keep the temperature, the burning temperature up. And now I'm going to add some butter. This butter comes from, it's made at home. Actually, we have a pet brontosaurus. This is brontosaurus butter. Now we're gonna soak the bread in this fabulous vanilla egg batter. We have here a multi-grain bread. It's wonderful with some various fruits in it. Again, from Costco, believe it or not. I'm just gonna let the batter soak in on both sides. Now, we purposely did not make the French toast too thick because we wanted to make sure that the batter would get soaked through. Okay, now we're going to put the battered bread into the pan. Notice that my fork isn't long enough, so I just have to extend it out like that. Oh wait, no, I think I'll use a spatula. Okay, we'll let it drain. First piece of bread in the pan. Let it soak for a minute. After all, it's in everybody's interest to have a little protein at breakfast, so let's make sure we get the egg in the bread here, right? Number 2. I'm going to keep the temperature fairly low on the pan. Again, we don't want to burn the bread. We want to give a chance for the egg to cook through. Some pieces of bread just won't cooperate, and it's just different personalities. You understand that. And with a little luck, maybe I can get a 4th piece in there. Now what we're going to do is we're going to let these pieces brown, and we'll flip them over. But then I think you all know that, because I can't imagine all of you haven't made French toast before. And this piece has a mind of its own. Okay, now, as you can see, our apples are nicely cooked and just slightly brown, very nice color. I'm now going to add our chopped up almond and cashew clusters. I'm going to just stir those in. We're now going to build our wonderful topping. I'm just going to stir all this wonderful stuff together, and let's keep building our topping here. I'm going to now add some brown sugar. Brown sugar. And this is pure maple syrup, grade A. Okay. With the maple syrup, the brown sugar, the nuts, and the apples, I'm now just going to let these mix together, let the flavors blend, let them kind of saute at a very low temperature for a little bit. And the final ingredient to this will be, you guessed it, straight from Kentucky, the beverage you should always have with your morning coffee, some bourbon. Okay, now it's time to flip the French toast over to the other side. This is where it becomes clear that I'm a home cook. My guess is a professional chef would just lift up the pan with his hands, lift them all out together, they'd flip all together in the air and come down perfectly in the pan. So, when all else fails and I go to the Culinary Institute of America, I will definitely show you all how to do that. Now, look at this. Now remember, we really have just kind of ad-libbed the quantities of ingredients, so this is a good time to give it a quick taste test with a spoon. Remember, it's going to be extremely hot, so when you take a little spoon, just take a little bit and let it cool down.
Be careful.
Children, don't do this at home. You know, it's missing something. You know what that is?
Bourbon.
Bourbon. Otherwise, it's absolutely perfect. Yum. The final step. A good quality bourbon doesn't have to be a great quality bourbon. But make sure it's something that's a little hefty. And add some of that. Remember, the alcohol would burn off. Just a little touch. Okay. With the French toast nicely browned on both sides. Double checking. 3 slices.
No.
Now let's do 4.
Oh, come on.
Here's 3 slices for 1 serving. Now look what we have here. Awesomeness.
Okay.
I'm going to take
Wait, hold on.
I'm going to take a small ladle like this, and I'm going to put the goodness on the French toast.
Really? You should use a big ladle.
Yes. I want it to be, you know, dainty and petite. Make sure you get some of that good liquid in there, the syrupy stuff. And there it is. This is the fun part. This is kind of the part you can't really mess up, right? We love that. And there you have it.
Looks yummy. Proud man.
Proud and skinny.
Yeah, not for long. Oh, that's great. And what do you call that?
We don't know. No. Again, what we put together, we made this up. This is a French toast, a vanilla French toast with cashews, almonds. There's actually some sunflower seeds in this, and some apple with brown sugar, pure maple syrup, and America's finest distilled spirit bourbon. Enjoy.